So I am down 7.6 pounds for month 2, which makes me down a total of 22.6 pounds in 2 months. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Arielle Patrice. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Health and Wealth series, and this is a health video, specifically my fat loss journey. And so let's go ahead and get into it. So if you haven't watched my video from last month, I really honed in on trying to fix whatever was going on with my tummy, lots of stomach issues, wanted to help my sugar cravings and all of that. So I took it out and I had it a couple of days in the month. And so the first month I lost 15 pounds. And this month I lost an additional 7.6 pounds. So I'm not going to make y'all wait too long. I'll go ahead and put some before and after pictures here at the beginning. So this is what I looked like at the end of April. And that is in my previous video from before. And this is what I looked like at the end of May going into June. I don't know if you can see much of a difference because it's 7.6 pounds as opposed to the 15 pounds, but I do feel different. I want to talk about the different things that have been happening and what I kind of did to lose this 7.6 pounds in this second month. So in this month, I did incorporate 6 days where I introduced other foods and tried all these different foods, and it really went anywhere from ice cream to bread to different dairy products and all of that. And for this month, honestly, I didn't have too big of issues with my stomach. I didn't have any days where I felt like I was dying food-wise, but we'll get into the other part of that later. Food-wise, I didn't feel like I felt heavy on those 6 intentional days where I did incorporate different foods, but I didn't have any stomach issues. So I do think my gut is healing itself, which is really good. I drank specifically water and coffee, but I drink my coffee black. Sometimes I'll put cream in it, but for the most part, I drink it black. I didn't veer from that unless it was in my 6 days. I think in those 6 days where I was intentionally eating other foods, like the carbs, processed sugars, and all of that, even more vegetables, more fruits, just to kind of see how my body was doing. I think maybe one of those days I had a soda, but not every single one of the 6 days of my intentional eating outside of the whole foods and mostly meats. I guess that's another thing I should talk about. Most of my food is meat, and I'll add some things here and there in it. But that's how I started off, as I think I talked about it in the first video, but I started off really eating only meats and then slowly starting to incorporate all these different things. But I find that meat keeps me full, and so I have a plethora of different things. So I'll have, like today I had brisket. Sometimes I'll have burgers, but I really like steaks. I really like lamb chops. I really like pork chops, bacon. But for the most part, I like red meats. I haven't ate a lot of chicken. As far as workouts went, last month my knee was bothering me. I did get into sprints in the month of April, and I talked about that in my first video, which I really enjoy. I really started to enjoy the sprints, but my knee was giving me some issues. So for the month of May, just to keep it light, I walked on incline, and I did not sprint at all in the month of May. And that was my focus. And I did lift weights, but I did pull back on it for a little bit just because of my knee. So I was averaging roughly about 3 days a week of weightlifting, which is less than what I would want to do, but it still got the job done for this month. I will say that in those 6 intentional days, 5 of those intentional days of me eating more outside of what I've been eating, it was, I don't know if this is TMI, but it was the week before my monthly period. And I think that was a mistake. And why I say that was a mistake, if I'm looking at my past 2 periods after I've kind of changed up my diet, I haven't had to take any medication, which is insane for me because I usually have very painful, or I'm used to having very painful periods. And the last 2 months, I haven't had to take any medication. I still had to use my heating pads, but I haven't had to take any medication, which was huge for me. That's never happened in my life, literally in my life. However, in these 5 intentional days that I was more lax with my eating and incorporated more and did have more processed foods, did have more sugars and different things like that, I did do that the week before my period. And on the 3rd day of my period, I literally felt like I was dying. I literally felt like I was dying. Like I almost passed out from pain, and I literally fell asleep after I took, which is probably not recommended, I took 1,500 milligrams of painkillers, put my heating pad on high, and was in pain literally for 4 hours nonstop until I fell asleep. Like I had to force myself to fall asleep so that I just wouldn't feel it anymore. And I have not felt pain like that in a long time. I used to, when I was in high school and middle school and stuff, I would have to miss school because it was so painful. And that's what it felt like. And I'm going to gauge how I eat the week before that time comes to see. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to eat like that again the week before and see if that makes a difference. But if this continues, then maybe it's not a food thing and there's something else I need to go get it looked at. But for right now, that's the only thing that changed. So that's what I'm chalking it up to right now. So yeah, outside of the 22.6 pounds lost in 2 months, I think I want to talk about some non-scale victories. And the first one being I have a lot more energy, and I don't feel like I had bad energy before, but I feel like I have more focused energy now. And so there would be times where I'd have a little bit of brain fog, nothing crazy. I do pride myself on having a pretty good memory, so nothing crazy, but not exactly always alert and focused. But I do feel like that has shifted and like it's just so that is definitely a win for me, and especially for the job field that I have. I spoke about this last time, but I do feel like I have clearer skin, and I don't wear makeup. Very rarely. If I do, it's like once a year. But I don't wear makeup, and I do feel like my skin is clearing up. More specifically, I feel like the scars, like the blackhead scars, are clearing up, so that's good. I do have like a couple of different things, but my time of the month just ended. I do think that came with that week of processed foods before, but who knows? But overall, I feel like my skin is clearer, and I love that. And the last thing is how my clothes are fitting me. So I bought a pair of pants, and I'll show you the picture here. I bought a pair of pants for my goal pants, and there's 2 pictures here. The first one is this one, and I definitely thought these weren't going to button up and zip. They don't fit the way that they need to. I bought them to be smaller so I can fit into them. So I wasn't expecting that. So that was a pleasant surprise. That picture's at the end of April. This picture was taken just before I made this video so I could show a difference between the 1 month. And so they still have some room for me to kind of fit into. Like, I definitely need to lose a couple more inches on my waist for them to fit the way I want them to fit. But that just shows the difference. And I think I might be able to fit comfortably in those pants either at the end of June or maybe even the end of July, which is pretty exciting. So I love those non-scale victories. I do not think that the scale is the only thing that makes you worthy or showing the work that you're putting in. I do think measuring and how your clothes fit is definitely a better indicator, because there's going to be some times where the scale doesn't move. And the scale didn't move for me for a few weeks in the month of May. But nonetheless, I was still able to lose over 7 pounds. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, give you the update for the end of May going into June. And now we are going to be looking at June. Thank you so much for following this health and wealth series. This is again the health series of this. I will be posting the wealth video of this series tomorrow, so you can see what my finances and my net worth are looking like for the month of May. Anyways, guys, if you have any comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know how your fitness journey is going. I'll see you next month, and have a great day. Bye.